Okay, good morning, everyone, to our joint November meeting. This is being recorded so people can watch it later on. Please mute yourselves so we don't have any feedback. We have a great agenda today, and we're really excited to have our guest speakers with us. So without further ado, I welcome Mrs. Cadis to start off our meeting.
Good morning, everybody, and love the music, Maria. Very energizing way to start the meeting. Just a quick updates from, so a few updates from Carolyn as we are moving into, I can't believe it's November. The year just seems to be flying by already, and the fall usually does go very quickly. Our students are doing so well. We're really humming along over here now. They're learning so much academically, socially. It's just been such an exciting beginning to the school year, a very busy one. One of the areas I just wanted to touch on briefly was just, as a primary building, part of what we do in any year is helping students transition into what we call more formal schooling. They're coming from small preschools into kindergarten, sometimes very small buildings, very small programs into, elementary school, which begins their formal schooling as they move through the Weston public schools. And it's something we really enjoy doing and pay very close attention to as we help our students make that transition. This year, for some students, it's a more significant transition. Some students were not in school last year. They might have homeschooled. They might have moved from a district where it was virtual all year. They may have been in hybrid situations. So we really see, especially this year, even a greater range of experiences that students are coming to us with. And we pay attention to all of that. We educate the whole child. So part of what we do here is we help them transition into, a larger classroom environment, sometimes being part of a larger grade level. We have to pay attention to all of those pieces and make sure that we're attending to their social and emotional needs. Some children just jump right in and they could be part of a group of 100 and they're just running with it. Other students need a little more support with that. They might not be comfortable in a larger group. They might be a little more on the introverted side, and we want to make sure that we're supporting that process. And again, this year, for some students, it is a little bit more of a significant transition. So it's very much a part of what we do here every day. All of our classroom teachers are responsive classroom trained. So a part of the way they start the day is with morning meeting and making sure everyone is prepared for the day. They know what the day is going to look like, greeting each other and really strengthening that classroom climate so that students can be as comfortable as possible here and be the learning. As we continue to move towards less COVID mitigating strategies, we have, if you were on the board meeting, Lisa Wallach, our superintendent, did mention at the elementary level, we are moving towards grouping student desks again and bringing our instructional rugs back into the classroom. Again, at the primary level, that certainly is a process we're moving slowly with to make sure that we help the students during that transition. For some of our students who have only known school being at their own desk, or this might be the first year even in a formal school setting, we need to teach into what does that look like when you're sitting a little bit closer to somebody, when your desks are side by side, what do those transitions look like? So we do that very thoughtfully and very carefully to make sure that we're supporting all of our students. It is an exciting next step for us, and we're looking forward to that. Part of the magic of young children is everything is just so exciting. So, if they walk into a classroom and they see something that looks different, it's like, wow, what happened to my classroom? Whereas at the upper levels, middle and high school, they're like, whatever. But for us, it certainly is an event in an elementary classroom. So very exciting times. As you know, we did start our pool testing this week for families who chose that. Just a reminder, if you have any questions about that, you can certainly reach out to our school nurse, Nurse Susie, and our COVID liaison is our assistant principal, Mr. Matthew Paler. If you have decided to withdraw your child from the testing or you want to enroll in it still, you can reach out to one of them. Also, I will be sending out in one of my updates, just reminders, we are now moving into also a transitional month in terms of the weather. We have a lot of variations in temperatures within the building and outside.
Yeah, I know I changed my name.
We start the day sometimes with 30 degrees and we're ending the day at 60. So what our families find very helpful is layers. You know, some of our classrooms may be warmer than others. So if you could send your child in with layers, you know, shirts and then sweaters, and of course, outdoor wear for when we go outside. We are outside as much as possible throughout the winter, as long as it is not actively raining and we are not, and the temperatures are warm enough for us to be outside, but we do go outside throughout the day and every day. And I think I've taken up enough of your time, Maria.
Thank you, Mrs. Cadis.
Thank you for letting me share.
Oh, thank you. Do we see, I don't see Mrs. Falber on. Is she on yet?
I know she was coming from another meeting, so if you want to maybe circle back to her.
Yeah, let's go ahead, and I'd like her to be on when we have our speakers. So Debbie, why don't you and I just jump into our quick notes, and then once Mrs. Falber pops on, she can jump in, and then we'll go to our speakers. Does that sound good?
Maria, this is Ken Craw, Assistant Superintendent. Hi.
Hi. Thank you so much for being with us today.
No problem at all. I just wanted to let you know, Patty may be running later than we thought from her previous meeting. So I don't know if you necessarily can wait for her, you know, with the math specialist being ready to go, you know, at any point, you know, feel free, we could jump in.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Let's do our quick, I appreciate that. Let's do our quick reports, and then let's have our specialists start going, because I know they have all their work they're doing as well.
Maria, I can introduce both of them.
What?
Maria, I can introduce both.
Wonderful. Okay. So Debbie, we're all set. Okay. So let me just share my screen really quickly with our form here. Everybody can see that. Here we go. Ooh, there are our specialists. Okay, so really quickly from me, Chalk the Walk was on Sunday. Thank you to Jennifer Bernheim and Rachel Rosenberg. It was such a great success, and I think that it really brought a lot of smiles to our, not only our kids, but definitely the teachers and the staff. Lots of hearts and stars and love yous, and you're fantastic, which I don't think they can ever hear enough of, and I don't think we can ever tell them enough. So thank you to Jennifer and Rachel for organizing that. I know my boys really enjoyed getting to quote unquote graffiti when they're never allowed to. So they enjoyed using that chalk. We will be starting the holiday drive at Hurlbut after Thanksgiving. Our community chairs, Daniela Ackley and Amanda Allen, are hard at work with Jen Rubin from WIS to kind of coordinate that and get that all together. And they're really excited for what they can do to help the community. So look for that. Memorial Day Fair. It's on the schedule. We had our first meeting last night. We are excited. We have 5 amazing chair people to help make it a massive success for us. So watch for information for that coming in the new year. But we just wanted to throw it out there to get everyone excited for it, because we can't wait. And there's no meeting in December. So watch the buzz and the whistle for any information regarding things that are happening around town and also in the schools, because that's where all of that will come from. And that's it from me. Debbie. Debbie's on her phone. Are you on here, Debbie? Okay, so Debbie will pop back on, and we are just going to do this. We're winging it today. So we'll go back to Debbie. And in the meantime, let's have Mrs. Cadis introduce our guest speakers that we are so excited for today. Mrs. Cadis, it is all you. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here.
Great, thank you. So we're so excited to share some information about our math program. As most of you know, math is a district-wide focus this year, and we are so fortunate in Weston to have the resources available to us to help that in that process. Today we have our 2 math curriculum instructional leaders from Hurlbut and WIS. And I also wanted to point out too that while we are in 2 separate buildings, we really are an elementary program. There's so much coordination and collaboration and communication across the buildings. And that's really important. This year, Kelly DelVecchio joins us at Hurlbut. She had previously been at the intermediate school, which is great because she knows that program and the expectations well at WIS. So there's a really great background there for her as she helps us build those foundational skills and all that early numeracy understanding for our students. Carolyn Vinden is the curriculum instructional leader for math and science for both buildings, math for WIS, and she was with us at Hurlbut, so she really sees how that foundation is built here and then helps build on that in the next steps at the intermediate school. So they're both here today to talk to you about our program. We have new resources that we're working with, so they're supporting our teachers as well as some of our students. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Kelly DelVecchio, who is at Hurlbut as the curriculum instructional leader and one of our math specialists.
Thanks, Laura. Good morning. Thank you for inviting us this morning to your PTO meeting. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be at Hurlbut. I'm lucky to wear two different hats here in that I am half CIL, the curriculum instructional leader for math, and then the other half is being an interventionist with students. So happy to be here. We have a lot of support for teachers. We have a lot of support for our students this year here at Hurlbut. So it's exciting. There's lots of wonderful things happening in the classrooms with math. I hope that your children are coming home excited about math this year. The best thing is that teachers are able to teach math the way math is meant to be taught. We are teaching in small groups. We are using manipulatives. They're playing math games, and the energy in the classroom is exciting. Students are happy to be working the way they are this year. So that's really the best report to share. First through 8th grade this year is all using the new Math in Focus materials. So that's a great new resource. Teachers are getting acclimated to the new resources and they're enjoying them. They offer a lot of great features. The children's books that they're working in are very colorful and engaging. There's a lot of resources for them to share with you also at home. Math, like Laura said, has been a district focus this year. So we've spent a lot of our professional development time on math with teachers, not only with the resources, but just with enjoying math as well. And I'm happy to report, our first few chapters we're into already. Children seem to be progressing very well and performing. And we recognize that there will be some students who need some extra time this year, and we have the support. We have teacher support and we have the student support. So we need to keep in mind we have a lot of end of year goals, and those students that need that extra time, we're here to support them and reinforce, what they might need. Recognizing that there may be places that we need to build up on this year. So happy to be here at Hurlbut, and I'll hand it over to Carolyn.
Good morning. So at WIS, we can echo everything that Kelly said. It just really is great to have the kids in a place where they can be in groups and teachers can work with small groups and they feel a lot of connection. And one of the things I think, especially more intermediate grades that we've been working on is a positive mindset and really encouraging confidence. Now, I think I said that incorrectly. We really encourage a positive mindset K through 12. But some of our students in the past years, when things were remote, math might have seemed a little bit more difficult. They were working at home, and we may have noticed some students who have not felt as confident because of the last couple of years. So we're really, as a staff, building that, encouraging them, trying to really build in through our professional development, not just really strong concepts, but how do we get our students to enjoy learning math and do some of those things in a positive way, because that's really an important piece. Math, probably more than any subject, is affected by mindset, mostly because sometimes we can have a negative mindset about math. There's a math joke, so I'm not good at math. And I'd really encourage you all to be very positive with your students with math, whatever grade they are, to be talking about numbers, to build their confidence, and realize that if there's a struggle, it's normal, that's important. And anything that's worthwhile learning it doesn't come really easy at first. And they see that in math more than anything else because it's like a step of skills. And there's new skills all the time. So just to really to be encouraging them and saying, you're going to, you're doing great, you're going to get it. Because we're, that really makes a huge difference with students learning. One of the things we wanted to show you, if I'm able to share my screen, is we have a great resource for parents, which is the K-5 math website. We're going to give you a little bit of a tour of that so you can see some of the resources that we have for you. So am I able to share my screen?
Carolyn, I'm going to make you the host. And when you're done sharing, you can make me the host again. And then I know that we have another presentation. So
Okay.
Just made you the host, change host.
Let's see, share screen. And all right. Do you see that? K5? Okay.
Yeah.
So this website, it's linked off of both the Hurlbut homepage and the WIS homepage under the parent tab, resources. It says K-5 math or K-5 math parent resources. And this is something we've been building for quite a few years. And as you look at this, if you have another idea of something you'd like on here that you don't see, email Kelly or I, because it's always a work in process. On the homepage, hopefully you might have seen it. We also linked to our summer math on the homepage, so you can put that in your memories for next summer. But even there's great activities on there all around. If you are interested in what curriculum topics your student will be learning this year, well, we have those listed by grade. The parent workshops tab is the one I wanted to highlight the most. Before COVID, we would do yearly parent workshops where parents would come in, they get to do some math, learn the way their students learned. But there were some parents who were not always able to do that in person. So I had taken all 3 workshops that we offered and voiced over the slides. So you can listen and experience the K2, the 3-5, and then the bar modeling workshop. And the handouts are below. You could print those out and you could listen through. I will give one caveat that when we did a Google security update a week or so ago, some of the permissions on the videos, some people are having trouble, but our help desk is working on that. So if you go to look today and you can't see them, try again. I think by next week we should have that up and running. Kelly's going to take over and lead you through some of the other tabs that are up here.
Carolyn, you can just leave yours up so we don't have to go through changing and sharing then. Okay, great. So, parents always ask, what can I do to support my child at home? And this website is a great resource for you. My first advice is always to make it fun. Keep the happiness there, it's going to be confidence building. And there's so much fun ways to do math with your child at home. So this next tab that Carolyn's showing is a homework tab. It explains the homework expectations for the different grades for you to read there. And again, it tries to make it as real world, real life, fun games, some practicing things there. So a great resource for you there. There's the next link would be for links for multiplication facts. Okay, so multiplication facts. In 2nd grade, parents received at the beginning of the year some tips for adding and subtracting for fact strategies. And the multiplication one is up here because ultimately, there's a lot of strategies there. This is a great way for you to be helping at home. Fact practice, quick. I practice in the car with my kids, driving from A to B. It's a quick place for you to chime in and support them for that extra practice. It's confidence building. The secure they feel in their facts, then they're going to be able to be open to learning some new concepts that rely on them. So please use these tips as helpful as you can. There's also a lot of links available on the next tab. Lots of links to information for parents. There's more videos, what can we challenge and enrich our kids with for at home? So there's plenty of links here that you can use, and some of them are more parent friendly, and some of them you would want to look at and see if it's really meant for your child to be practicing. So there's different purposes for some of the links. So just take a peek and see how they go. Again, I'll put in the caveat with the updating of the site. If there's a trouble with any of them, just we'll be on top of that. Carolyn mentioned bar modeling. Bar modeling is introduced in 2nd grade, and a lot of parents and teachers were very new to bar modeling, since we probably didn't do any bar modeling when we were in elementary school. So this is a great tab, along with the parent workshop on bar modeling, for us to support our students with this strategy, as this is probably one that we are not familiar with as parents. So the bar modeling tab can also be very useful. Frequently asked questions tab will have a lot of information, a couple things for the technology piece. So Ed is our platform that's online for students and parents, and Dreambox questions that are there. Carolyn did mention in the beginning the summer math challenge. I would say you don't have to wait until the summer to be doing a lot of this math activities. There's great real world. There's tons of games, like real games that you could buy at the store, not, math games. They're just real games that would be useful and build those math skills, things that we do in life, things you're cooking in the kitchen, and, measuring for new rug in your living room. There's a lot of math that we do every day, and we want to make sure we're talking about that with our kids. And it's continuing to be a work in progress. And if at your meetings you decide there's something you'd really like us to include on here, just let Carolyn or I know. We're a resource for you, as well as our teachers and students. So it's a work in progress. We're here to support everybody with math. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now
Maria, can I
Yeah.
just wanted to make one more
Yes.
comment. I just can't help myself. So something that Kelly and Carolyn talked about, which I just think is so important. There's so many ways that math just happens naturally in life. And all of that support you do at home really transitions back into the classroom. So all of those day-to-day activities you do with your children, I often have conversations with parents, and they're thinking, I want to help my child with math. So it's worksheets, it's workbooks, it's programs, but it's really your interactions with your child in daily life. Setting the table at dinner, how many forks do you need? Give them one less than they really need. Oh, you don't have enough. How many more do you need? Just using that language and those natural interactions. We see the children bring those back into the classroom. And for the children, it's not, I'm doing math at home with my mom or my dad. It's just part of life then. And they'll be able to draw on that in the classroom. So helping them, having them help to prepare dinner, getting a half cup of whatever you need in the recipe. Then they say in the classroom, oh, I remember when Dad and I made, cookies, I needed a half a cup of something. And we start to then make those connections for them in the classroom to what that looks like then in math work in, more abstractly. But all of those daily interactions are just so important. So I always worry that families with math think it's something different, but just like when you read with your child at night, it's part of your daily life. Math is everywhere. And just finding those connections naturally. Oh, what time is it? Look at the clock. Can you read the numbers? Especially at those early levels, not making it about work and homework, but just it's part of life.
Thank you, Mrs. Cadis. And we are very fortunate to have Dr. Craw with us today, and he is actually going to present to us. So thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and make you host now. And then when you're done, you can just flip it back to me.
Great. Hi, everybody. Good to see you. Okay, let's see. Great. All right, so I am coming to you from central office, and I try to get out in the schools almost every day. And this year it's been fantastic to be back into the classrooms. I think that's where the magic is happening between our students and teachers. I thought it'd be helpful, just following on Carolyn and Kelly and Laura, just to give you a district perspective on our math work. We have a coordinated effort as a district, and I just kind of wanted to highlight that. I mean, I've been in this role for several years, and we've had a coordinated approach when it's come to in 2018 with science, with new standards that came out, and we're very successful there. In 2016, when we really saw a need, we wanted to work on writing, and we had some parent feedback to that effect. And when we row together as a district, we're able to make improvements, enhancements to particular programs. And this year, we all know that with math and the way students learned last year, it was very challenging. We had students learning different learning formats, whether it was in person or virtual. The classrooms looked different. Classrooms in rows, spread out. We had kids in hybrid to start the year. So we do know that math of all subjects was the one that took the greatest hit last year in terms of being able to deliver instruction the way we know how it should be done. So Lisa Wolak, Superintendent, and I, we are very committed to having the district focus on math in a coordinated way. You could see the goal there on the screen. Our administrators and teachers have followed on our goal setting and action planning at the district level and have done the same, so that, again, we're all rowing in the same direction. You can find our full set of goals on the district website, including the math action plans for each of the schools. And I just have about 5 or 6 slides. I just kind of want to run through some of the high level strategies that we've used in the past, but also, I think tailored for math this year to accelerate the learning. And the goal is, certainly for students to love math, but to become strong in terms of their math skills, but great problem solvers as well. I mean, that's really the holy grail with math. Become independent problem solvers, and we can begin that as early as kindergarten. So one of the things we have done, we've invested this year in splitting our CIL focus at each building. So Carolyn, you know what? I flip-flopped that. It's incorrect on the slide. I'll fix that for later. But Kelly's K2, Carolyn is 3-5. It used to be Carolyn was supporting 45 teachers across 2 buildings. We've now split that work for math, where Kelly is focused on a smaller subset at Hurlbut, and Carolyn is doing the same at WIS. And their role, and we have a cadre of curriculum instructional leaders for all subjects across the district. They both teach and they coach. Their coaching role, their job is to be in the classroom, working with teachers, planning with teachers, delivering demo lessons, helping them be the best they can be. And it's a very trusting relationship between the SILs and the teachers. Carolyn and Kelly are not evaluators. The evaluators in the district are the building administrators, who are also committed to being in classrooms. I mean, every time I go over to see Laura, she's never in her office. She's always out and about somewhere in the schools. And I think that's what's great. It's about what the learning that's taking place in the classes. Then speaking of learning, professional learning of our educators, when we ask them, we'd like to improve, enhance, accelerate learning in math, we have to support them with really good professional development. And that begins with our curriculum leaders, but also we bring in, and we have this year, some local and national consultants who we feel understand what we're trying to do here in terms of building problem-solving capabilities with our students. They're also helping us with new resources that we've brought into the district for math. And, we have this regular schedule of professional learning days, which is so valuable to us. And while I know We have an upcoming early release on December 8th. If you want to mark that on your calendar, December 8th is an early release for students so that teachers can have time for professional learning, which will be focused on math that day in several of our sessions. One of the things you may be wondering about is, how do we determine if a student needs some extra support? I mean, our goal is really to service all students in that hour math block that they typically have during the day with the classroom teacher differentiating instruction. But because, students were learning differently last year, we recognize, and based on data points that we have and input from teachers, some students need more time, right? They need a little more time to achieve those grade level benchmarks and standards. So we have, as a district, using our grant funding, we added additional intervention support. We call it SRBI in Connecticut, scientifically research-based interventions. So across those two buildings, we have additional support for working with students in small groups, and our interventionists sometimes will push into a classroom, or a lot of times they'll pull them out at a different time other than their math block 2 to 3 times a week to work with a student to shore up whatever challenges they're having. And at times, if that's not working, we may have to ramp it up to another level where the frequency is greater and it's working with a student individually. So that is something we're doing, but the goal is short term. We want to get those students back to the tier 1 level, which is differentiation. The regular classroom would be meeting their needs. And of course, if you have concern about your child's progress, please speak with your child's teacher. We had the conferences recently, and that's a great place. Carolyn and Kelly alluded to updated learning resources. So, we generally are on a plan of every 6 years, we update our electronic textbooks, workbooks, that or the hard cover materials that we give to students. And this year, we accelerated that plan because we wanted to put into teachers' hands the most recent edition of our Math in Focus materials. So we had previously given grade 5 those materials. We had planned through our operating budget to give grades 3 and 4, but we accelerated that with grant funding to add grades 1 and 2 so that they could have those new resources. And I think, Kelly and Carolyn could certainly speak to those. I think the presentation, the way they present the material, it's very positive with the new materials. So in grade K, one of the things we are looking at is whether or not the Math in Focus materials at grade K, the new updated resources at grade K, will continue to serve us well, or as we've seen some districts do, they're looking at another program, methodology at kindergarten level that we are piloting with a couple of our classes, and the teachers are finding very favorable. We are going to be making a decision at the end of the year whether or not we will go with continue with the Math in Focus in grade K or move to methodology. So we have a curriculum committee process where we'll have those discussions there and make that decision. And then finally, how do you know that your child is progressing and on target to meet those grade level benchmarks, right? So wherever they're starting from, that's what you want to know, and that they have a positive attitude towards learning and learning math. So hopefully you had a really good sense at the parent-teacher conferences recently. Our teachers at grades 3 through 5 send home math unit assessments for you to see. At the conferences, K2, you likely have seen those unit assessments. That's one of the best ways to know that your child is on target throughout the year, because those are given, every 3 to 4 weeks, depending on the length of the unit, and you get a sense. And from what we are seeing, students are performing very well on those unit assessments, which are standardized across grade level. And give us a sense of what skills students are doing well in, which ones they need more time to improve on, or tells us about problems. Certain problems, particularly those at the end of those unit assessments, will give us information on how well they're problem solving. Now, in addition to that, you recently received the information about your child's fall measure of academic progress assessment. This is a national standardized assessment. It focuses more so on skills as opposed to problem solving, but we now have in the fall a baseline for grades 1 through 5. Your children, you can see where they are and what we are looking for. And when you receive the report in the winter on how they're progressing, that's, I guess, probably 60 days or so past the fall assessment, how much have they progressed? We want to see that progress in the winter. But again, I think the best thing for you is really, those math unit assessments, what's the teacher seeing? If you think your child is, you have concerns, if we have concerns, we'll also reach out to you. But I think that's really important, this home school connection. So with that, I think we could stop sharing here and we can take questions.
So if anyone would like to ask a question, can you please put it into the chat and then we can facilitate that a little bit easier.
Maria, would you like me to
Yeah, sorry, my dog Ollie has decided he wants to talk too. So go ahead and answer them at will, Dr. Craw.
Sure. And the question was in regards to NWEA and, how do I know if my child needs some support if they're below expectation? We have what's called a data team in each of our buildings, a math data team that meets regularly. And we use we're about multiple measures in Weston. So while, we do have NWEA, we have math unit assessments, we have some other quick skills assessments we use. The team will get together and decide, okay, based on certain benchmarks for those indicators, do we need to reach out to the family and coordinate having that child have some additional support? And I know Kelly, Carolyn, Laura are part of those data teams, but you would be notified if we think that is something that is necessary based on that report and the other information. But also it works both ways. If you have a concern about, you think your child is having some challenges, you certainly should reach out. I mean, as a parent, I've done that. When my kids were younger, they're on the back end of the education system. They're in middle and high school now, but certainly that's something to do. Maria, it might be helpful if the
I can read
question
it.
is just read out to us.
Yeah, so this question is the methodology curriculum very different from Math in Focus. My child is struggling with math already. Should I be concerned that she is in a pilot program?
Kelly, you want to take that?
Sure. So the quick answer is no, you should not be concerned. It is very aligned to the same standards that we are using with Math in Focus. It's the same Singapore based. It is very similar. It is done in a very developmentally appropriate way. I'm working very closely with those two teachers who are piloting the program. I'm also in coordination with other schools who are using the program and the writer of the program. So we're working really hard to see if this is the best fit for us. But no, I would not be concerned. We are right on track with working hard with the students. And I think it also offers a lot of benefits. It's very developmentally appropriate. It's done through a lot of play and purposeful play, I will say. So no, I would not. And if you are concerned and you feel like you want to reach out to the teacher or to myself, I'd be happy to talk, to look at your student individually.
Thank you, Kelly. Okay, so I don't see any more questions popping in. In the meantime, if you're a parent on the call and you do have a question, you can reach out to the math specialists, to Mrs. Cadis, to Mrs. Falber, and I'm sure they can direct you in the right place for the answers to those questions, or where you can get more information. Thank you, math specialists, and Dr. Craw. Thank you so much, Kelly and Carolyn, for being with us today. I think that this is one of those questions that a lot of parents, wanted more information about, especially with it being such a push for our district. So we really appreciate your time. You are welcome to stay and listen and enjoy the rest of our meeting, but you're also, free to go about the rest of your morning. So thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you for the great turnout today.
Thank you. Okay, everyone, let's go to, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to read Debbie's notes for us for today. Can everyone see this? Okay. Math, there's mine. Okay, so Debbie, this is for WIS. The square one art is in. So orders are due on November 26th. So right before Thanksgiving break. I believe you can also do them online as well. The food drive to benefit the Weston Food Pantry, we are having it through December 3rd. The flyers are being mailed to parents and it will be in the whistle. Bins will be in the front hallway and people can also Venmo. So more information will be in the whistle with all of that. Limited supplies of items are in the spirit shop. The winter hats, WIS, the Weston aprons and cooler bags are available. I will say all of the swag has been so amazing and everyone's really, really enjoying it. So thank you for all of that. Let's move on to Jenny Dorsey, our Hurlbut Vice President.
Sorry, I'm here. The one moment I chose to get up and blow my nose. Sorry, a little TMI, a little cold here. We are, this December, we generally do not have a general PTO meeting, so no speakers, obviously, for December. We are, however, working on presentations, 2 separate presentations for day camps and sleepaway camps that will be in January. Those were really popular last year and well attended. And the one obvious bit of feedback that we got last year was that it was just a little bit too late in the game and camps filled up very quickly. So to that end, we've moved it to January. I think last year it was a little closer to spring. And we're also going to put together a list of registration opening dates, definitely for the day camps, maybe for the overnight camps as well. I'm not as familiar with that process. Our WIS folks will be handling that portion of it. But we're going to put together a list of the registration opening dates and put them in the buzz and the whistle in December so that people at least have those on their radar as we head into our presentations in January. Thank you. Maria, you're muted.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Jenny. Mindy, do you have anything to present for us today?
No, nothing really to add, just mine's combined with Jenny's and working on the sleepaway presentation for January. So just look for information in the whistle on that. And that's all.
Thank you. And next up, we have Stephanie, who is our Hurlbut Board of Ed rep, who listened to the call on Monday, and she has her report for us. So Stephanie, take it away.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Can you see me? I'm seeing you, Maria, but
I
does it
think you
work?
have to just click on whoever.
Okay. Anyway, this past Monday's BOE meeting was very exciting. It clocked in at under 3 hours, and most of it was really relevant to Hurlbut and WIS. So first up, you heard it here first. There was a motion and a vote and a change made to the 2022-2023 school calendar. So next year, there will be a week-long February break. Traditionally in Weston, it has been 4 days, a Thursday, Friday, then the weekend, and then Monday a President's Day off. And next year, it will be an entire week with the bookending weekends. And the change to the calendar added 2 days to that week. And so to balance that, 2 days will be added to the school calendar at the beginning of the year. So the actual school year will not be extended at all. In my report in the whistle and the buzz, you'll see some of the talking points. There was discussion, but I was really heartened to see that the PTO's feedback on this change was really highlighted. So all the executive PTO boards were surveyed as a representative of what parents might want. And so although a lot of factors were taken into consideration from what the teachers want, what the unions want, what the surrounding towns do, also just logistics of our calendar, there was a lot of emphasis on what the boards and what the parents wanted. So that was great to hear. And it turned out that between the 4 boards, high school, middle school, WIS, and Hurlbut, most of the boards were overwhelmingly in favor of having an entire week off, and one board was sort of mixed or ambivalent. So your voices were heard and you were represented at the Board of Ed meeting at that level, and you will have a week-long President's Day vacation next year. Moving on to COVID, as Mrs. Cadis mentioned, COVID pool testing began this week, and 60 Hurlbut students participated, 80 WIS students, and also 6th graders are in this program. It is free, it is quick, it is voluntary, and any student can opt in or opt out at any time. So if your student is not vaccinated and you would like them in pool testing, you can do that. If they get vaccinated or you change your mind, a call to the nurse will take them out of pool testing. And the board is really thrilled that they can provide this service to all the students. Another very exciting piece of news, I think you probably saw the email come around, but it was, a big announcement that the district was going to provide its own COVID vaccine clinic for children ages 5 to 11. It's going to take place at WIS. It's going to be in partnership with Griffin Hospital, and they will be offering both doses. So the dates are here. It's also in an email that was circulated, and you register online for this, and then you don't actually get an appointment, but it's a window, and you come with your paperwork, and your kid can get vaccinated at, a familiar place, which is the school, with, friends around to support them. And I think it will be really beneficial, and it's exciting that the district was able to make this possible for our kids. More COVID changes, Mrs. Cadis alluded to, but after Thanksgiving, you're going to start to see some changes from the strict measures that were in place due to COVID. So carpet and rugs will be added back into the classrooms, and this will allow children to sit and gather and learn on the rug. And also there will be a change to how the desks are organized. So instead of, very strict rows, very far apart, they will move back into clusters, which will be nice for, peer work and just, feels more normal. But there will still be 3 feet of distancing and masking and all those measures in place. And there are various other changes, including more one-on-one parent meetings. At least in Hurlbut, I know parents will have an opportunity to start to tour the school if you did not have an opportunity to see it yet. So I think we're going to see a relaxing of some of the COVID precautions in place, while still obviously prioritizing keeping our kids and our families safe. The next Board of Ed meeting is December 15th. Anybody can join in. And it's, I think it's really exciting to listen to. You should at least attend one board meeting, kind of like you should at least do jury service sometime. You sort of see how it operates. And something new is public comment is now available, which means that if you have something to say that you want the Board of Ed to hear, and the superintendent and the principals and our elected board representatives are on that Zoom, then you should make a public comment and have your voice and opinion heard. So that's it. More details in the full report in the whistle and the buzz. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Here we go. All right, Jenny Plant.
Hi, everybody. Just a relatively quick one from me. We have one new philanthropy request for Halbert this month from Mrs. Kalis and Mr. Paler. They are asking for up to $600, which is going to be used to buy some nice additional recess supplies for all of the grades at Halbert. So sidewalk chalk, balls, hoops. And the idea behind that is to help support the kids as they learn to play and interact with each other, make sure they've all got enough equipment and they can have some directed play. It's already been approved in the philanthropy meeting and in the executive meeting, and we now need to put it forward for approval by the membership. So does anybody have any questions about that request that I'd like to ask? Wait to see if anyone types anything in the chat. It doesn't look like there is, so that means that we then need a first to approve. So if you can unmute yourself quickly and tell me if you're. Thank you, and then we need a second.
That is I can be second. More
true now than it has been in the past.
Thank you, Ginny. Thank you very much. That is philanthropy business for this month.
Thank you, Jenny. And next up, Shannon, the WIS secretary.
Yes, hello. Thank you, Maria. Yes, I posted the minutes from our last meeting on Wednesday, October 20th, and we just need to approve those. So I will make a motion to approve the minutes from October 20th. May I have a first?
First, Stephanie.
Thank you.
And second, Maria.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Elizabeth from Hurlbut. Elizabeth, are you muted? Did we lose Elizabeth? There she is. Elizabeth, you're still muted. Okay. I can't hear Elizabeth. So we'll just go ahead and we'll look at the minutes. I'm going to pull them up here. This is for the general meeting for Hurlbut for Wednesday, October 20th. Does anyone have any questions or changes after they've read them? So we just need a first and a second for these minutes. So I have a first.
Oh, I know.
First, Jenny.
Jenny first and a second.
Second,
Jessica, thank you. All right, thank you very much. And now Jennifer Murphy, Hurlbut Treasurer.
Good morning, everybody. Happy to share our numbers for the month of October. Our starting balance as of the first of that month was $10,497.04. The ending balance being $10,632.66. The activity for the month includes $135.62 worth of net income that came from spiritware, interest income, and wall calendar sales. The expenses included the clearing of a check for the transportation breakfast, credit card fees, and the takeout of $300 that was used for the book fair cash box, which will ultimately go back in. On the philanthropy side, we had a starting balance of $62,638.08, an ending balance of $62,070.75, and that leaves us with an estimated balance remaining for allocation of $22,599. The only activity for the month from that account was interest income of $1 and a cleared check for the previously approved garden project expenses. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, Chris from the WIS treasurer.
Hi, everyone. I did finally transition into the role earlier this month. I'm still working on getting access to the bank account, which hopefully will be this week. So I don't have a report this week, but I will have this month, but I will have one at our January meeting for the 3-month update. So apologies, but we should be good to go from here.
Thank you, Chris. All right, and with that, we are all done with our November meeting. A final note, we don't have a December meeting, and we will see everyone in January of 2022. We will be posting in the Buzz and the Whistle the links that the math specialists gave us, so that will be included in those. We will also tonight is the community meeting, which we've put in the Buzz and the Whistle last Friday. So if you want to check that out, please look at those. And that is an important moment for everyone to see the status of the schools and what they're looking at for those. That's it from us. Thank you everyone for being here today. We were so excited that we had these math specialists with us. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving and holiday season, and hopefully I see you guys everybody around.